Macho Man Randy Savage, Sarasota, Florida. Come on in. You're going to be defending against the Dragon, Ricky Steamboat. What's the cup for?
WrestleMania III, Pontiac, Michigan. Yeah, 90,000 plus people watching right there. And this is Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's cup of coffee in the big time. Yeah, cup of coffee in the big time, because he'll never get closer than now. I am the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, and I will remain the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. And George the Animal Steel on the outside will be no factor, yeah.
You say no factor. Obviously, he is a factor, or you wouldn't even brought it up.
Oh, wow, Mr. Sarcasm, yeah. I don't care if you got 23 wrestlers around the outside, and it doesn't even matter, no, because I am ready, and I will not let this opportunity slip through my fingers. Cup of coffee, man, yeah. Man. Wow, man, freak out.
At this point of the finish, that there was the standard beat WrestleMania 3 beatdown by the heels after the bell, and then bloody hell, Tito Santana yet again has to come in and make the save.
Yeah.
Piss off!
To WrestleMania III! And now, here to sing America, the beautiful, the queen of soul, Miss Aretha Franklin!
Alright, hello and welcome to OSW Review, the old school wrestling podcast, here once again. This time to review WrestleMania 3, March 29th, 1987, from the Pontiac Silverdome in Michigan. This is your host, Jay Hunter, joined today with a panel of Mr. OC, Neil,
hey, how's it going?
and returning once again, V1.
Alright.
How's it going? Man, less jovial this time. Okay, let's get the pay-per-view underway. Now, I watched the Silver Vision release, which is the same as the Coliseum Home Video release, back in 1987. Running time 2 hours 25. You guys watched the WWE version?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and how long was it?
3 hours almost to the dot.
Yeah. Mine was 3:05.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Okay, not too bad this time.
The Ridley Scott Director's Cut Edition.
Yeah. I think they decided for Mania 3 that they'd actually pay for the 3-hour VHS tape, like, because the other first two were cut down to just under 2 hours. So it's a bit cheaper, you know, quick cost, you know. So just a quick note on the really amazing crowd attendance at WrestleMania 3. WWE contend that at 93,173, the actual attendance is 78,000 with 2,300 comps. So says Meltzer, Alvarez, Powerslam and Pollock, and that's good enough for me. Our commentators tonight are Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse Ventura. Production values are a lot higher this time around. First thing you know is just a massive crowd. Even if it's not 93,000, it's fucking impressive. Yeah. So we start the pay-per-view off with Vince McMahon announcing the highly publicised "Welcome to WrestleMania 3." Wait, now how's that? Is that right?
Yeah, we're doing WrestleMania 2.
With Aretha Franklin singing "America the Beautiful."
Butchering America the Beautiful.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
I skipped it.
Oh, it was awful.
Just to note, that's the first time America the Beautiful was at WrestleMania.
And is that the first time Vince used his Mr. McMahon voice as well?
Yeah, that
Really good.
Yeah. Just a few things to note.
Already.
The jazzy sex music from
Yeah,
WrestleMania 2 was back,
Sir.
as was the velvet smoking jacket.
Yes.
What can I say? He is a sexy man, isn't he?
Okay, the opening match is the Can-Am Connection, Tom Zenk and Rick Martel versus Ace, Cowboy Bob Orton, and the Magnificent Muraco. And both Zenk and Martel are fresh in from the AWA. This is Orton's third WrestleMania, but his only WrestleMania match. And this match went 5:36, pretty average opener. Martel looked good. What do you guys think?
What was this guy? So we had Rick Martel and Tom Zenk, was it?
Zenk.
Zenk. Because
Not,
all I
not
kept
the
thinking
element,
was
like.
Zenk. Come back.
Centurion, like. From A to Zinc.
Yeah, the match was your standard kind of tag opener. Seen it before, but the finish was ridiculous.
I thought Rick Martel looked really young. Don Muraco was still huge,
Yeah.
but he was starting to get old.
He
looking
was,
at
yeah. I was
this
going to say
point,
that like he was definitely.
he was no longer miraculous.
Can we cut that one as a...
Oh no!
These are great. I'm gonna put a counter at the bottom of the screen.
Nice.
Anything on that now?
No, I was just laughing as well about the Can-Am Connection. They looked so excited to be there because even when they were putting on some of the moves, like they were smiling.
Yeah, that's true. Very face.
That is
Yeah.
Just
very
good baby faces.
Yeah.
And I thought that these guys wrestled pretty quickly,
Yeah.
and when you look at other Mania openers that we've seen in
That's it,
1 and 2, this was not
Yeah,
bad,
they just
actually,
look
yeah.
so happy to win. They smile.
A couple of tag team moves as well in tandem. Oh, always good. Both teams weren't long for this world. Zenk and Martel actually split up because Zenk, this is shoot-wise, Zenk claims Martel was getting paid thrice as much. Zenk got the boot though, and Martel joined forces with Tito to form the Strike Force. And during the summer, Ace Orton broke up with Muraco, who turned face, and Ace Hall went back to the AWA. So that's the end of both teams breaking up.
Mentioned the finish here was ridiculous. So looked like, I think it was Martel was going to whip Muraco into the ropes. At that point, Zenk was lying he's lying face down on the floor, right? So Muraco reversed the move. Martel kind of jumped over Zenk, bounced into the ropes, and then did his crossbody,
yeah.
where they did the old, the juvenile thing where he trips up.
The kind of jock and the nerd push him over. Yeah.
But why? I don't understand what would have happened if Muraco hadn't reversed the move, because at that point Zenk was lying on the floor, ready to trip.
Well, that was never going to happen. It's predetermined. Like.
Oh, sorry. Okay, that's fine. Moving on.
Logic. I was absolutely fuming. Monsoon at some point says Cowboy Bob Orton is the excellence of execution during this match.
Yeah, he did.
I nearly flipped my lid.
But he
That made me angry. He called Bret the same thing as
He
well.
called him the master of execution or something. Yeah. So that got changed up a little bit. Yeah.
That pissed me off.
And Gorilla kept calling the Can-Am connection the K&M connection.
Yeah, he did as well.
Canadian with a K, like.
And
Nice.
when the Can-Am actually won, there's actually a lot of boos in the crowd.
It wasn't. No, they
strange.
could care less. They could.
Alright, let's move on.
Just had a build-up clip with Hercules and Billy Jack Haynes. Hercules attacked Haynes and put him in the full Nelson, and that's basically what set this match up.
Did you get that?
Yep. I did not get that.
I get it.
The first of many things I'll be missing tonight. So Billy Jack Haynes versus Hercules Hernandez with Bobby Heenan in a full Nelson match. So the setup of the match is that heel Hernandez says he's the master of the full Nelson. And yeah, here's the match. So very simple build. Haynes was in from Mid-Atlantic, who lasted under 2 years in the WWF, and this was his only WWF pay-per-view appearance. I thought this was a pretty sloppy, disjointed match.
Yeah, Hercules was quite sloppy, I thought.
Yeah.
One thing we did see was a press slam. Billy Jack Haynes did a nice press slam on Hercules, which we never really see anymore, but I really enjoyed it.
Ever since Billy Gunn, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. Why can't we always get back to
Attack
Billy
of the Billies, like, you know what I mean? Did anyone notice how much like Dr. Death, Steve Williams, Billy Jack Haynes looked like? He
very good.
And both these guys were mega ripped.
Yeah.
These were huge guys.
The other thing about Hercules is it's amazing how kind of his gimmick has depreciated. Where for WrestleMania 2, he's got like this cool kind of armor on, and then he's just got some chains he got in the hardware store. Or maybe just ripped them off the parking lot. Like, it was just so when he was cutting his promo, he was kind of you don't even know what he was saying. You're like,
he was talking about tearing down the pillars of Rome hundreds of years ago or thousands of years ago in his American accent.
And it's just like crazy.
With his Irish hair, like.
Of Mexican descent.
There was one spot where Hernandez nearly took Billy Jack Haynes' head off with a clothesline. It's really nasty looking, and you could really hear the smacking of it. Like.
The match ended in a double count out at 7:54. Hercules gets his heat back by bloodying up Billy Jack, which was pretty rare in the WWF at the time, and made for a pretty cool aesthetic.
It was okay.
But I did like the chain fist punch.
Yeah.
I thought it was alright. Yeah, the match was nothing special, but
Well, we haven't seen blood on pay-per-view at this point, so this is the first time. So that's kind of a big deal. It's like if you see blood today, since they've had the policy in since the end of 2009, so any kind of blood spotted. It's quite
And that's the
interesting.
thing, because you can actually
a bit
see,
more special.
see him kind of setting up to blade himself. You can see they're starting already there to actually get the camera to look away at the right moments, but they kind of left it almost a little bit too late in one of the scenes because you can actually see him just about to start.
Oh god.
He was on his back while he was blading, as far as I could see.
Yeah, he kind of does it.
That's rare, isn't it?
He moves basically twice, and that's where you see him kind of. You see it in his hand.
Me and Gene interviews Bundy with two dwarfs, and basically
They prefer to be called midgets.
I was gonna get to that point because
Stole his pun.
because all Bundy says, he just starts saying midget this and I'm gonna kill those two midgets, right? He says it to his two midgets, and I was just like, the word midget began to mean nothing during these promos.
Okay.
When did it stop being okay for both the heels and the faces to insult midgets?
Hopefully the day after WrestleMania 3, because this was really bad, really bad.
Okay, so we got the Little and Large 6-man tag, King Kong Bundy, Lord Littlebrook and Little Tokyo, that has to be racist, versus Hillbilly Jim, Little Beaver and the Haiti Kid. Guest commentator is Bob Uecker. Wow, King Kong Bundy had taken quite a fall from grace from main eventing WrestleMania 2. I didn't appreciate this at all. I guess this is what we get because Adonis isn't wearing his grandma dress anymore, so this is the comedy indie shit of the night.
I actually thought the midgets did a good job.
Is this because you're hearkening of the days of WrestleMania 10 and the midgets?
A lot better than them they were. I have to say they weren't too bad. There was what's the guy, the Japanese midget's name?
Little Tokyo. Little Tokyo.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He was pretty good. There was a 4-midget crisscross as well at one point.
Yes, there was. That was awesome. And there was a 2-man rowboat spot.
Yeah, that was cool.
Really cool, actually.
Really good.
It was some kind of. And did you notice that every midget had little before their name? So they were little something.
Little England, Little Tokyo, yeah. But there was a.
Did you notice that
That's
Little
female
Beaver
character.
was the bravest one out of them all? So Little Beaver had some balls.
Yeah, there was a thing I didn't get to mention there was when Mean Gene was doing his interview. Do you see the one when he cut to Hillbilly then, and he actually picks up basically the midgets, and it just looks so unusual.
Yeah.
And I actually just put a note down here. It's like you got a squash match, but this is actually going to be a crash match. You know,
Oh god!
I said
You got the pun count.
it's terrible, but I was actually kind of thinking, I was that far back in the stadium, like these circuits.
I think it's the thing with wrestling is that whenever they use dwarves or midgets or however have you, is that they treat them like they were children. Like Jerry Lawler is doing his spots in '97 where Little Nova or whatever comes out and they do the serious lucha libre stuff even though they're kids, and then they'd jump out to the ring and he'd jump on Jerry Lawler's lap and steal his crown and stuff like that, and they go right back to the serious wrestling. So
But what is the link then? Why even Tough Enough are still using these dwarfs for little people, whatever one to refer to even now? It's weird. What is the kind of?
It's just ingrained in wrestling, isn't it? Like
unusual.
it's it's more the carnival aspect of wrestling. The really big guys, and here we go, the really small guys.
this match was not very good, but at least it was short.
Very short.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed Bundy's elbow drop onto The Indian midget.
Little Beaver.
Yeah, that was very nice.
And I know they referred to him as a condominium with legs.
Yeah, so he's not a mountain anymore.
No.
He's been reduced.
He has been, yeah. He's for rent, apparently.
So Hillbillies Jim's team win by DQ at 4:26. Were there any interviews?
Oh yeah, Moolah. Again, she proved again she has no charisma or mic skills. She had an interview with Race and Heenan. She's terrible, just awful. Same again. And then JYD had his usual
Motormouth kind of non-stop
It's
promo.
entertaining.
Yeah, I find it very entertaining. There was also a quick one with Liz and Macho, where basically Macho Man just wouldn't let her talk.
Yeah.
Kept on telling her to go in the corner and say nothing, and he was awesome. He was great.
Like he just stands with his back to the camera, and he just blocks the whole camera with his entire robe. You know?
He was bubbling with
amazing.
charisma. He ridiculous.
It's kind of a shoot gimmick. He was always very protective of Liz.
Yeah.
Are you just a little trepidatious about today?
Oh,
Very.
trepidatious is the word. You're very hurt. You must be fascinated with the Macho Man Randy Savage. You want to ask me any question? I'll answer them one by one. Go ahead.
To tell you the truth, I was really looking forward to talking to the lovely Elizabeth because
About
she's
the Macho Man Randy Savage, Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, huh? Yeah.
Is it always this way?
Oh. Wow, can't believe it, man. Fascinating is the word of the day, and enthusiasm is where I go. Elizabeth, down that aisle.
Wait a minute,
ready.
Elizabeth, I'd love to talk to you a little
Well,
bit later
my
on.
phone number's on the back of my license plate.
You are a real charm.
Well, I'm sure Mary Hart did not expect the Macho Man to be sneaking in there.
She sure didn't show him much respect.
Alright, so we have JYD versus Harley Race in a loser bows to the winner match. Race was an 8-time NWA champion and made the jump to the WWF in late 86. King Harley Race, he won the untelevised 1986 King of the Ring. This match was set up from Saturday night's main event where JYD wouldn't bow to Race, which was Race's gimmick at the time, where Heenan would force a beaten opponent to bow by kind of grabbing their hair and pushing them down. Yeah, Race used Jerry Lawler's theme.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what do you think of the match?
Yeah, it was okay.
Alright, we got
I got 4 words written out for this match. This match sucked balls. I absolutely hated it. I thought Harley Race was so old and past his prime. He could barely move.
And
massive belly on him.
he was bumping around like a boss. Seriously.
He was actually, because there's a great movie into the ring. He felt like a rock, like he could have missed with the head, and he just
sank like a stone.
He did. It's very funny.
Okay, so
I hated it. I really
at
did.
323, it was like apparently this would have been something really big a couple of years ago, but both JYD and Harley Race are past their prime at this stage. Like Harley Race had
A
put
lot
on
of headbutts in this match.
Yeah, and he didn't really read. Yeah, they kept forgetting that who he's headbutting, and they have to keep reminding us that he's got a 4-inch cranium and all.
because Harley Race was the man 3 years ago in the NWA. Like
I think he was the man 23 years ago, maybe. He was. No, he
like
could
just
barely
over
move at this
like
point.
3 years out of wrestling, he seemed to put on fair whack away.
Yeah, he's
stopped caring,
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty nothing match. Race beats JYD with the Bimmy to Jimmy suplex at 323.
I have it as Billy to Johnny here. Right?
JYD feigns bowing and gives Race a chair shot.
But what about? I was going to ask about the JYD kicks out on 2.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, what was that about?
Very real.
Yeah, it was
the
a
kicking
bit
out,
odd.
I'm still counting it as a pin. Like.
Yeah, I actually.
That's something you don't get anymore. It's like this is the finish and that's it. But this is like, no, I'm kicking out at 2. I'm the face. I'll kick out at 2. So you've just beaten me.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's not a rare occurrence. We'll see Hogan do it. Like
Harley Race went to give JYD a headbutt, but JYD's head was so hard that Race hurt his own head. Where we go? 1980s. Everybody.
did JYD accuse him of being racist?
Another quick interview segment.
Yeah.
Just Vince interviewed Hogan, who had his eye patch on again.
Yeah.
Hogan was huge.
Yeah.
He was absolutely massive. And he just cut a great Hogan promo. He was awesome.
The world in the locker room, just 1 hour away from his moment of destiny.
Well, they said it was my last ride, man. Yesterday when I finished hanging and banging, when I jumped on the Harley, man, as I went through the intersection, as I headed for the mountains, some of the non-believers in the gym said, "See you later, Hulkster, man. This is your last ride." It ate me alive, brothers. When I felt the fury, as I ripped, as I tore the shirt, as I headed for the sunset, man, I looked down, brothers, and as the sun beamed off the gold in my eyes, I realized that sooner or later, you gotta live and die and you gotta face the truth. And for you, Andre the Giant, it's time to face the truth, brother. Because when I think about what you and I have to do, man, what I have to do is nothing. All I have to do is merely beat a 7'4", 550-pound giant. But Andre, you gotta face the truth, brother. In its purest form, man. The purest truth there is, man. The training, the saying, the prayers, the eating, the vitamins. And to beat me, man, you gotta beat every Hulkamaniac, every little Hulkster in the world, everyone that plays it straight, all the ones that don't take any shortcuts, brother. And they usually say, if the dirty air don't get you, the politicians will. But in this case, it's going to be Hulkamania. And the reason it's going to get you, man, it's the purest form of the truth there is. And I can't wait to see you go down at the feet of Hulkamania in front of 90,000 plus in the Silver Dome. What you going to do, Andre the Giant, when the real truth, the 24-inch pythons and Hulkamania runs wild on you?
I like to call it the last ride promo because he kind of does a whole dialogue about, you know, everyone thinks he's on their last ride. This is the end of Hulkamania, and you know he does it.
This is the end of Hulkamania.
Yeah,
In 1987.
yeah, that's what he's saying. Everyone's saying, and you know it's pretty good. And then again, you have the usual going against the giant, 7'4", 750-pound giant. So I love like the numbers keep kind of changing. Yeah, so it'd be a good one.
Alright, so we got the Dream Team, Valentine and Beefcake versus the Rougeaus brothers. So this is the Rougeaus pay-per-view debut.
Awesome jacket by Brutus Beefcake again. This was the jacket he wore last year that
Some
I
type
told
of
you
Vegas stripper outfit. Yeah.
Listen, if you can wrestle, you should at least look pretty good, and
Yeah.
he did that, you know.
Yeah.
Move to the finish, because this was a short match, another 4-minute match. Beefcake gets the boot as Bravo replaces him. I have to say, he was a black-haired face, and now Dino Bravo is a blonde-haired heel. Dino interferes and costs Jock the match, and so this is just really a storyline match as Valentine picks up the win, the tainted win, at 4:02.
But is there any win in this pay-per-view that wasn't tainted? But I'll get to that.
Not yet.
Not
Okay.
many.
Yeah.
I thought the best part of this match was when Heenan was on commentary. I thought he was great.
Yeah.
I thought pretty much everything else about this match was pretty shit.
I love the Rougeaus finisher. It was like, what was it? The bars in the face, like. What the hell was that? Was that?
Kishi's taking notes, is he?
Did they botch it or something? It just looked completely wrong.
Another stipulation match. We got Roddy Piper versus Adrian Adonis in a retirement versus haircut match. This is straight out of DCW. Storyline going into it was heel Piper went on vacation in '86, leaving Piper's pit to Adonis, who turned it into the flower shop. Piper returns as a face. He gets beat down by Adonis, Orton and Muraco, and Piper destroys the flower shop with a baseball bat. He announces that this will be his retirement match because he wants to be a full-time actor, aka one film, They Live. No, he had like 2 other terrible films. Bit of Deus Ex Machina. Week before Mania 3, Adonis shaved Beefcake's head.
Adonis was bumping like a boss again in this. He's bumping like race.
Like a newborn baby.
Yeah, he was obviously clearly rubbish, but I mean, at least he took a bump. By the way, is this Piper's first retirement?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can't really remember much of the match. You know, pretty standard 80s fare.
Just at the start of the match, they were basically showing these hedge clippers. They saw going to cut Piper's head, and I love the way that they actually then had to go to ringside and actually say, no, we're actually going to use professional barber instruments, because they seemed a bit worried by this, that we actually were convinced that, we're going to use these kind of garden shears,
I assume there was a bit of a kind of Punch and Judy style thing where it has to be obvious what you're going to do, and these are the largest scissors, largest cutting instruments we have, just to tell you, this is the haircut match.
Yeah, but in retrospect then, when they actually were then, trying to use them, that they're completely useless. They actually couldn't shave his hair, so they had to get the scissors out in the end anyway, so...
Anything on that scene?
Yeah, I've actually a good bit on this match.
Alright, next match.
Hey! First of all, Adrian Adonis came out with the hedge clippers to start the match, and I was like, isn't this Beefcake's gimmick? But it all cleared up in about 4 minutes. Also, Adrian Adonis, since last year's WrestleMania, had put on about 50 pounds. He actually got his flare flopped over the turnbuckle move this year.
Yeah. He kind of nearly botches it as well.
Thought Jimmy Hart was great in this match out at ringside. He pretty much saved it. Yeah, that's about it.
So with regard to the ending then, so as Steve hinted about Brutus Beefcake, so I was going to ask you, Jay. So Brutus runs in, he does something to wake up Roddy Piper, who was after having been in the sleeper hold. I don't know what he did, but Roddy jumped up straight away. So I was going to ask you, what was Brutus's beef with Adrian Adonis?
No.
I like it.
So 6 now.
So as Neo said, worst hair clippers in wrestling history. And then I had assumed at that point you're going to be pretty stupid not to that this was the dawn of the barber gimmick for Brutus Beefcake.
Probably, yeah.
I guess he used those clippers on his jocks as well. Like. It was very revealing.
There's another thing about this where Brutus is left in the ring, and this is kind of when I really kind of started thinking about that ring vehicle going, like, what is the point of this? And it's kind of something I didn't really notice at the start of the pay-per-view, but like, and it's only until the end, like, where Hogan is the only person who actually walks to the ring.
Piper as well.
Piper does,
and does he as well? Because I just thought, like, what is that about? Like, is it really that far away that they they want to speed things up, like get on the little forklift or whatever, like,
and then get taken out by the Federettes, was it?
Yeah.
the little.
I just was just curious. Do you have any?
Just your two biggest stars in the company want to walk down and lap it up, really.
Yeah, it's like lowest entrance.
Very much so.
Well, and that's why Drew McIntyre is at the pinnacle. Was he on Raw now? Anyway, alright, so Piper gets win, KOing Adonis with the sleeper at 6:55. Entertaining storyline match.
And then Beefcake nearly KOs 93,000 people, taking so long cutting his hair.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
It took
that was
a long time.
That has not resolved with time. Like, whenever we see haircut matches, they still take this long. Like.
I know, it's a little bit better now. But there's a touching moment then at the end where someone comes in to celebrate with Piper and then gets considerably battered because of it. Piper was happy enough with it.
Piper handled it well, but the rest of the guys had none of it.
Basically, Jesse's heading down to the ring, and then they get my favourite moment of it when they actually announced that he's going to be on Predator later on in the year with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Awesome.
Yeah, this segment for Jesse Ventura to now waste time. It was nothing. He said nothing, did nothing.
Would have to say his nice snake skin jacket thing. I don't know what it is, but
it's
like this snake collar thing.
I was just happy that he wasn't wearing his Cleopatra hair this year, the little gold bits.
Alright, so we got the British Bulldogs and Tito Santana versus the Hart Foundation and Dangerous Danny Davis. This was actually a year-long storyline, slow building. Davis would continually botch finishes of matches, not see foreign objects, that kind of thing, and the baby faces would be screwed, which included Savage cheating to win the IC belt from Santana, and the Hart Foundation beating the Bulldogs for the tag belts. So President Jack Tunney stripped the heel ref of his refereeing duties, and so obviously now he's a wrestler, so he's in this match, and we found a way to shoehorn Santana in as well. So 6-man tag.
Yeah, my boy Danny Davis, or his era is Shane Sewell.
The wrestling referee.
Yes, who I loved, but Danny Davis didn't have that constipated look. He had great heat, actually. Pretty happy to see. Interesting to see Bret as a young heel. He didn't say anything, but he had a lot of clapping and nodding when other people were talking.
Yeah, he had a lot of movement. You mean? Yeah.
And so,
did you notice that prior to the match, Jimmy Hart cuts a great promo?
He was behind him.
But since there's so many people, you couldn't see him.
He's just audio only. You can just hear.
As you're saying, because it was a great promo. He was tremendous.
Question for you, Jay.
Oh God.
The Bulldog. Why has the Bulldog got an Australian name, Matilda? What's with that?
Maybe it's fond of dancing. This is all I got. Maybe Davey Boy Smith's fan of Roald Dahl.
I was going to say the Roald Dahl, right?
That's all I got. I was going to not tell you about this, but did you guys notice, just at the time, Dynamite having very serious back problems? So could you tell in this match?
I couldn't really tell in the match, but I thought that he'd aged an awful lot since WrestleMania 2. He looked a bit pastier, but in terms of work rate, I couldn't really tell. No.
I was actually quite happy with the commentary by Mary Hart this time for the woman commentator, because previously what we reviewed basically that they were distracting. But this way, she actually made I don't know if you good observation. You actually did call a few moves. You actually did call when a pile driver was done, and she was saying how she's not involved in the Heart Foundation because she's got the same name. So I like that, like, you know, she's good enough not to be distracting, which is good.
Well, it was Gorilla and Mary Hart and what was the other guy's, Bob Puker, whatever his name was. They were just the three of them on commentary. So I thought all in all it wasn't too distracting.
Yeah.
That is going above and beyond. That's more than you can expect from a guest commentator. You know, usually really awful. And today's refs, they're not admonished for fucking up every match.
I'm not sure this whole pay-per-view was defined by those very traits. So why aren't all these referees wrestling then the following WrestleMania?
And the thing about Bob Puker as well, you know, Mr. Baseball, like, does he appear again? Because you know the actual one moment he gets inducted to the Hall of Fame,
The real famous
Andre.
moment, yeah.
When is that?
Because it wasn't on the show.
No.
Oh, it's next year's WrestleMania.
Oh, okay. Prelude.
Yeah, not one of them. Just like Mr. T.
Bret Hart nearly got killed 10 seconds in by Tito Santana. Holy shit, and he tagged right out. That was pretty scary. Matilda went for Bret Hart right at the opening bell in a great spot.
Jimmy Hart, isn't it?
Oh, sorry, Jimmy Hart. Sorry, I just said Hart.
It looked great.
I don't know how they managed
He must have
pull
food
off.
in his hand or something.
It was really great spot. Bulldog was huge at this point.
Yeah.
Holy crap, mate.
He hits a lovely tombstone pile driver.
Yeah.
Another schmoz in.
Yeah, another fuck finish. Well, no, that wasn't that bad. Just a megaphone shot, and Davis gets the win, pitting Davey Boy Smith in 8:52. All right, now we got
Proving that he has a lot of heart. And the ending was bold. The crowd loved this match.
Huge poppers.
Yeah, definitely. Just having a hot crowd really does help, you know.
Big time. Mean Gene interviewed Bobby Heenan with Andre the Giant standing beside him.
The cutout of Andre, because at the start of this, he does not move. He is completely
very good.
I thought it was brilliant.
He's going to become the heavyweight champion of the world, and I'll tell you why. First of all, the man is undefeated in over 15 years as a professional athlete. Hulk Hogan has never been in the ring or met a man bigger than him, stronger than him, taller than him, that weighs more than him, and with a burning will inside more than Andre the Giant. You see, Hogan, few short hours from now, that clock is ticking, and it's ticking in our direction, not yours. Hulkamania is over. Hulkamania is dead. The door's going to be shut on the history books of Hulk Hogan once and for all. There is a new heavyweight champion of the world, the odds-on favorite in Las Vegas and all over the whole wrestling world. They're picking Andre the Giant. Nobody can defeat this man. Nobody even can come close to defeating this man. And Hogan, I know what's happening to you now because it's happening to me. The butterflies are in my stomach. The adrenaline's flowing through my veins, and I'm getting ready because I'm going to manage the heavyweight champion of the world. And Hogan, hey, you had 3 good years. You got nothing to look back on, but it's all over. Andre the Giant, the new heavyweight champion of the world.
The biggest heavyweight title bout of all time, Andre the Giant to meet Hulk Hogan.
Heenan cut a really good heel promo, and Andre just stared at the camera, didn't move, didn't blink. Like, he'd be terrified of this guy if this was real. Like,
Heenan not only put over the match really well, he put over Andre really well and made him seem like a legitimate threat against Hogan.
Yeah.
Was very,
And himself.
impressed.
I thought this was a great segment. It was about 15 seconds long and spot on.
Butch Reed with Slick Rick versus Koko Beware. Alright, so more debuts. With Frankie.
Yeah, that's right.
Bird. More debuts here. So Butch Reed, he's fresh in from Mid-Atlantic. Slick was from the NWA Central States Wrestling, which is like Kansas, Missouri, that kind of thing. He took some of the managing duties from Freddie Blassie. And when Blassie had to retire, he became the full manager and brought in the natural Butch Reed. And Koko was actually a heel in Memphis. And so he's a big time comedy babyface here.
He went to say his Junkyard Dogs promo. He said, "I'm gonna win just as sure as I'm black in the sunshine."
Oh yeah,
he did say that. So.
Yeah. But he's allowed to say.
Yeah, he's allowed to say.
Yeah, the match itself was thankfully short, uneventful. As per usual, Reed grabbed Koko Beware's tights after reversing a crossbody. So yet again, not a clean finish.
The match wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. But it was very short.
Yeah.
It had about 4 moves.
And even like the cameramen found Frankie more interesting than the match, because most of the match it was just shots of Frankie.
That was cool.
Koko, though.
Yeah, he was already over.
And then it was at this point at the finish that there was the standard beat WrestleMania 3 beatdown by the heels after the bell. And then bloody hell, Tito Santana yet again has to come in and make the save.
Yeah.
Piss off!
It's like, don't get out of your gear, right?
He's just the nicest man ever, isn't he? Like, he is the friend to all faces.
I was going to say he should have his own ring vehicle, so he can get in and out pretty quick.
He should leave the ring.
After Tito made the save, I thought Jesse Ventura was magic on commentary. Just twisting everything around to make Tito the heel. I thought he was great.
He's really on point. He is a fantastic commentator.
Yeah. No. Everything makes sense, and it's from his point of view. So what's good is bad, what's bad is good, and he never says anyone is crap or shit or isn't a superstar like Cole did. I thought he was amazing at this point.
I think that anytime there's a girl in the ring, he actually always had to make sure we know he's banging her or something like that. Yeah, they're asking for me. I'll marry her. Oh yeah, she's asking for me.
Alright, this is really to get Butch over. I don't know why, because he never became anything. But
he was big and tall.
Yeah,
Vince likes that.
Yeah, so he does. He loves nails as well, doesn't he?
It's sex jazz music.
So Butch squashes Koko, wins, holds it tight, gets the win via roll up at 3:39.
We actually get a decent build up to the next match.
Yeah.
It started having that big match feel with the build up. At the same time though, what did it really say? You know, we got a build up, but I wanted some kind of narration over something to tell me this is what's happened in the past X months. This is why the two of these guys are wrestling. I just felt that was a little bit missing.
They did get it over, didn't they?
Right now, you can't be with me. No, history beckons the Macho Man. Yeah.
Savage hit Steamboat with the ring bell in the throat, and and he put him out for like 8 months or something. But this was his big comeback.
Well, if he didn't get it, then obviously it wasn't good.
Yeah, because we got his full recap, then Macho's promo and Steamboat's promo.
My last opportunity. Randy Savage, the day has finally come. The minutes, the seconds, we have reached our moment. As you and I climb into the ring, we clash like two titans. But there will only be one winner. One winner, Savage. This dragon is breathing fire. This dragon will scorch your back. I will come away with the championship belt and see new horizon.
Yeah, but why did Macho hit him with the bell? Was just a heel?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
This would probably be better if you were kind of watching it as it was happening. You know, you get your MSG shows and your wrestling challenge and stuff like that.
Stadium.
The Flushing Meadows. So, you know, all these promos and the build-up would be expanded because we're just, you know, coming in at every show, you know?
Yeah.
Macho's promo is this great line where like, history beckons the Macho Man. I just thought it was really cool.
I thought that Ricky Steamboat sold the throat chop with the bell so well. He made it look almost real. He was brilliant. Like, what a babyface. He was awesome.
Yeah, definitely. So we got the IC title match, which is Ricky Steamboat versus Randy Savage.
Just before you start, I have to make a note of Macho Man's amazing ski goggles. They were fucking amazing.
You should know, you had them last week.
So this match came about when Savage got the security rail and drove it into Steamer's throat, and also the ring bell as well. So this is a holdover from WrestleMania 2 with George Steele, who had a crush on Liz, and is in the corner of the big Steamer. And first thing I noted is Ventura did an awesome job putting over this match as well.
Definitely.
Alright, this is no more of that stalling shit from Savage. This is full on high work rate, just fast paced, beautiful, smooth wrestling, and one of the most iconic wrestling matches of all time. So what do you think? Hated it.
Now, this is by no means one of the best matches ever.
I second that.
By no means whatsoever.
But like, this is in 1980.
Yeah, but people still talk about like it's a 5-star match.
Yeah.
And like it's ranked up there with anything.
After Macho passed away, all I heard was Macho Steamboat is better than any match you'll see this year. I'm sorry, Christian Orton from Over the Limit was 10 times the match this was. I imagine in 1987 this was revolution.
Yeah,
like, it was amazing. Like, completely bowled people over, knocked them for a 6, and other stupid things you want to say. But
that's no problem. But
judging it against,
you can't match that up with some of the matches that Angle or Benoit or HBK have had.
Like if you watched, Joe, AJ, and Daniels, and then watch this. Like, this would be like watching Adrian Adonis versus Uncle Ben from.
But no, yeah, it's a very nice, fast-paced match. There was quite a long section of the match where there was a lot of move, pin, 2 count, move, pin, 2 count.
So there must have been 20-something near falls.
First it was Savage, then it was Steamer, and it was just, there was no drama involved in that whatsoever because you knew well that there wasn't going to be a 3 count here, so that really broke up the match for me.
I think that must be the first we've really seen where we get a lot of false finishes.
Yeah. And maybe that's why this match is held, to such a high level, because if one of the first ones to do it, I don't know.
If you're looking at Orndorff and Muraco, slobbing over each other, and then see these two, it's a million miles away.
This is actually my favourite match, the whole pay-per-view. There's what I loved is that they use the entire landscape of the arena. Like, they were kind of in, out, and there's my favourite move that Macho does, this kind of clothesline, jumps out of the ring while he's doing it. It was just incredible for the time. I know we were talking about it in context, but if I was kind of in the mindset of it, because I just watched Shea Stadium. I mean, I was in I was in the future. I was just like, oh my god, it's, what's going on? And it was fantastic to see, because even at one stage, Steamboat's actually throwing it over the ring, into the crowd as well. So it was. I really enjoyed this in terms of them as an all-round wrestling match in terms of in and out of the ring. It was great that it was
Yeah, if that match was at WrestleMania 28, you wouldn't be disappointed.
No.
It was a good match.
Yeah. Maybe it would have helped me to know a little bit more about the background and to actually care about who won the match, and because obviously we all love Macho, so at the time it sure would have helped to really hate the guy and love Steamboat.
Again, what was exciting for me is that again the actual belt changed hands for the match, and again that was important to see, because as we were talking about, we'd seen all these kind of really bad botched kind of finishes that, they were boring, but it was really exciting. The whole crowd were up for it. They were going hysteric, someone new is now taking the IC belt, so that was excellent, I thought.
You probably don't get it just because we're watching this pay-per-view here, but yeah, it would have been a long drawn-out storyline entering the big baby face, because that was a vicious angle that they shot that you generally don't get. It's usually, I'm the master of the full Nelson. That's your storyline. You make that work, and this is, I'm actually injuring you and shelving you for a couple of weeks, and then I'm going to do it to someone else, and you can come out and make the save, and there's the title on the line as well. And you even got the holdover with George Steele, so put that together with two amazing characters, super heel versus super face, and both of you are amazing workers, so something very special.
There's one other thing I just want to talk about was which Hebner is in the ring, because at this stage I am completely confused.
I think they said it was Dave Hebner, didn't
You see, Jesse keeps calling him Dave, but then Gorilla's calling him Earl, so it's very confusing.
So he gets 2 paychecks that way.
Yes.
We go for Dave. Yeah.
Steamboat, when he came out first, kept on doing these ridiculous chops. And, I just pissed myself laughing at him. But
I bet you an American booked that. And the version I watched, he didn't have his amazing song. He kind of like a cheesy cover version.
Yeah.
And even though the fans are going mental, it doesn't sound the same because that song is amazing.
The Alan Parsons Project song, that's really good. Yeah.
But basically every time Ricky the Dragon was on offense, I thought the match was great. I think he was such an effective babyface. He was going full steam ahead with a boatload of moves.
I was going to ask if that was a pun or not, and there it is.
But the worst thing about the match, Jesse Ventura, what the fuck is a larynx? He must have said it.
It's Ratner's esophagus.
About 1 billion times in this match, and every time he said it, it took a little bit of enjoyment away from me.
Well, it was a senior nitpick there.
I loved how Macho Man centered his offense around hurting the larynx of Steamboat. He'd do chops and he'd drag him over the ropes, and I thought that was really smart booking. Yeah, the match was tremendous for 87. Still holds up today, but you can't call it a 5-star, today.
Tell Dave Meltzer to go rewatch every match for 2011.
Yeah.
Alright, so Steamboat picks up the win in a very, very enjoyable match, one of the iconic matches of WrestleMania history, via a small package at $14.33. Crowd went mental for it.
The interview is coming up. It was based on the next match, so Alice Cooper was horrendous.
This is the first real celebrity of the night, isn't it?
Yeah, proper celebrity. He really, Jesus, I was surprised. I thought he'd give a kick-ass interview.
what I actually put here in brackets is he's so deadpan. It's so, what should I say, just so boring and monotonous. But yeah, like this for me is the start of like the roller coaster ride from going from for me the best match to the worst match. Just in the blink of an eye. And
is he supposed to be crazy or is he boring guy?
He's supposed to be a kind of a regular guy, but obviously his persona, which you would expect him to present at WrestleMania, wasn't there?
God, Jesus, no! People in America when he was bringing his albums out in the 70s thought he was the devil, like.
Yeah. So
there were people burning posters of him, and they were terrified.
But is that is what he did on stage rather than the interview?
No, it's just because he was, in a rock band and had white makeup, so he must be the devil, like.
Because again, what most people know from is obviously the whole Wayne's World, we're not worthy thing. Again, that's the whole thing going, to the Dark Master.
This is 87. He's massive. He's a massive star at this point.
Yeah. But there is a kind of a random thing because he's actually a pro golfer, so he's actually kind of boring as well.
He's serious? My God. All right.
He wasn't really over actually.
European.
Honky Tonk Man versus Jake Roberts with Alice Cooper.
Honky cut an awesome promo before this match. He was great. What a gimmick. It's perfect for the time.
It's quite interesting. Honky started out in the WWF as just a bland generic babyface, and WWF sent out like flyers or whatever to WWF magazine subscribers and stuff and said, what do you think of Honky Tonk Man? And it came back unanimous, he sucks, we hate him. And so here you go, repackaged, turns into the heel Elvis gimmick that we still enjoy 30 years later.
And I think it's a great gimmick.
And he ended a bland generic old man face.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's really weird. WWE actually asking their fans and doing what they want.
WWE used to have a section for sending in storylines and gimmicks to them on their website. Just fans would write and say, I think it'd be cool if blah 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 happened. Yeah, but that's all gone now. So they used to be pretty open to the fans' ideas and whatnot.
Jake turned face when Honky Tonk Man gave him a guitar shot on Piper's Pit, which actually legitimately injured his neck. So kind of returning from injury as a face, kind of like what Piper did. Like.
This was a bit of a windy through for me because I was running late.
This match felt like a toilet break match to me. Nothing special. The fans were really into Alice Cooper and Damien. Unfortunately, neither wrestler was that over in the match. Honky Tonk Man, he used a lot of Jerry Lawler's offense.
Yeah, he did.
She's very good. Yeah.
Well, I was quite distracted. Was Jake's spider web pants? I love that it's like it's got a snake on one leg, but not so much on the other. They'll do.
They all have the same amount of legs, right?
No, that's it. So for me, a very generic match. I really hate the Honky Tonk Man, and not even in a heat way. I fucking hate him.
Wayne Jarvis, he's coming for you.
So I couldn't wait for this match to just be over.
Couldn't wait for Jake Roberts and Alice Cooper to fly the coop.
But we did get a lot of kind of funny commentary. Jesse just keeps commenting on Alice Cooper's physique. Like they keep slagging him off because he does look like a kind of like a frail junkie.
He does.
Looks like.
The only kind of funny thing I found just at the end is when they actually throw the snake, on top of Jimmy Hart. Just the noise that was like.
He's great.
Yeah, I just kept on thinking of the scene out of Home Alone when they put the spider in his face. It just reminded me of that. It's the noise he made.
Excellent. Honky gets the win using the ropes at 7:16 in a wind-on match.
Standard 80s heel win, especially standard WrestleMania 3 heel win here. It's cheap to win. Post-match ballyhoo yet again.
Alright, so we got any interviews?
No, we just got the Mean Gene.
Mean Gene lying to all of us with his 93,173 attendees.
Yeah, this is 1987. Did they actually tally up the results of the ticket results halfway through the pay-per-view?
Oh yeah, they were there with like the little stubs.
What's wrong with 78,000? That is a hugely impressive number.
Be a record though. You can't flog that number around for
you could say
30 years.
You could say it's the largest indoor sports entertainment record in history.
But it was outdoors.
It wasn't at a car park.
It had a roof.
It had a structure.
No, it was completely bright during the day.
It was a glass roof.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was clear.
Closed structure. Technically.
Alright, so Volkoff and Iron Sheik versus the Killer Bees, Jumpin' Jim Brunzell and B. Brian Blair. So.
Did you notice that when the Killer Bees walked out, there was a real buzz?
Oh god.
I've been waiting to say that one all night.
Oh god. Alright, any thoughts on the match, Sheik?
The entrance to the Russian national anthem, Hacksaw Jim Duggan interrupts for a really, really cheap pop.
Yeah. I was really, really digging the whole Cold War heat that Volkoff was getting. I think it's a great gimmick.
Yeah, it's the third year in a row now. Duggan himself is from the Mid-South, aka Bill Watts Universal Wrestling Federation. I was wondering, like, you got Volkoff and Iron Sheik, why aren't they facing Kirshner and Duggan, you know? And it's because Kirshner was tested positive for drug use, shock horror, before WrestleMania 3, so he's out.
The other thing is, I don't know why the Killer Bees were so happy with Duggan leaving, because they just lost by a DQ, and they're all like, patting him on the back, and I was like, no, we just lost because you asshole. Like, it's a little strange.
I have a question for you. If Lanny Poffo, the genius, if he came in, if he was the Killer Bees, if he managed them, would they be the Spelling Bees?
I give that one a B+.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Alright, so bullshit filler match. Heels win by DQ thanks to Jim Duggan botching his interference. And the heels win, so 541.
The bad match from the beginning.
I'll turn this off.
That's the kind of heat I want.
The new heavyweight champion of the world.
That's nice of you. I'm really proud of you. And you are a good wrestler and fighter.
Andre being hammered by both Bundy and Stein. Oh, Hulk Hogan, the champion, sliding through. What is this? What business has Hogan got in there? Stein and Bundy going to work on Andre. Hulk Hogan from behind.
Team of Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan.
3 years to be a champion. It's a long time.
Andre the Giant is number one. I'd like to thank you for recognizing in my book the real champion of superstars all over the world. That's Andre. I will produce Andre the Giant right here next week. Can you produce Hogan?
You damn betcha, man. Look at me when I'm talking to you. I'm here for one reason. To challenge you for a world championship match in the WrestleMania.
Andre, please, no, it's not happening. We're friends. We're friends, Andre, please.
You can't believe it? Maybe you'll believe this, Hogan.
Andre, what are you doing, man? You can't leave like this, man. What are you doing, Andre?
Yes or no? Are you or are you not gonna fight him in WrestleMania 3 for the World Heavyweight Championship? Yes or no?
Yeah! Love the promo package. Which, now, explain...
Now
explain to me why these two guys, why Andre... disliked Hogan and wanted to challenge for the title. Was it because of he's brainwashed by Heenan? Yeah.
Yes.
Was that put across in any way, shape, or form in the promo package?
Yeah. Not so much in the promo package. I will expand it for you because you would have got this if you were watching Wrestling Channel, blah blah blah. But we don't get it because we're only watching the pay-per-view.
We are giving the recap, though, the full recap of everything.
It's a recap of nothing as far as I'm concerned. Go on, Joe.
Alright. Anyway, so January 17th, Piper's Pit. Hogan was awarded a trophy for being champion for 3 years. And Andre is awarded a smaller trophy for being undefeated for 15 years. And Andre wasn't impressed. And so at Piper's Pit, Andre came out with Heenan, his new manager, and so obviously he's heel. So he was angry at Hogan. He turned heel, demanding a title shot, and ripped off Hogan's t-shirt and crucifix. Hogan sold that like a legend, saying this is the worst thing ever. Wanted to know that Heenan changed his outfit. He was wearing like a black jumpsuit, and now he's in a white and gold full tuxedo.
And so will Jimmy. Jimmy will change.
Does that clear anything up?
That clears it up, but why didn't they mention that in the promo package?
Why wasn't I on this?
Yeah, exactly, because that makes perfect sense to me. I'm happy about that.
What did you garner out of the promo package?
I garnered that, at one point it was Hogan, at Piper's Pit, Hogan and Andre just puts down his trophy and leaves, and then the next thing the following week or whatever, he rips off his t-shirt, and I didn't know why he was angry at Hogan.
It would just be jealousy for Hogan having the belt and getting a smaller trophy.
That's quite good. That's quite good.
There is a weird comment though, even when Jesse and they were talking, they're saying, why did he never get a title shot in 15 years? He goes, because I never asked for one. I just thought that was really unusual.
That's pretty cool, actually.
It's unusual.
You gotta steal that,
That's very good. Gorilla hailed this, he started talking about this match as literally brother versus brother.
You mean brother?
Literally.
And again, just to go back to the last Wire promo by Hogan, so we've gone from 750-pound giant down to 520 pounds. So he must be on a slim fast plan.
That's true.
He's
eating the banana juice.
He looked in decent shape compared to, say, what's going on in the promo package or even the previous WrestleManias. I don't know, maybe it's because of that onesie he's just kind of holding.
He wasn't wearing his yellow swimming trunks.
Or apparently you lose weight by standing stationary.
Did you hear Hogan's interview with Mean Gene? Normally his promos are really awesome, but like this one, I couldn't understand a word he said. He just came across as someone who had just done a balloon of cocaine. And the whole world shakes in my feet. Alright, fair enough.
And he kept saying again, like, to beat him, you've got to beat not the 90,000 fans in the arena, it's the 90,000 plus fans outside the arena. I thought that was actually pretty cool though.
So there's actually 180,000 at Mania.
There might be.
That's why he could lift up to 897 pound giant.
It was on the moon, wasn't it?
Or underwater.
We had Hogan as the face and Andre as the heel. Now Andre was getting good heat. I was thinking it was more to do with Heenan, because of the fact that Andre was a fan favourite for say 15 odd years. He'd only kind of recently turned heel. Were the fans going to be a little reluctant to boo him?
They were throwing garbage at him. So I think they were up for it.
Is that the more the Heenan side of things?
Totally.
I think he successfully transferred his heat, and he just talked form, and he talked as a vicious heel, and this is a big monster.
But Heenan was absolutely necessary in this whole feud.
Because again, this would be actually the same way that Brock Lesnar came in, Paul Heyman as the Met. Here's the body, I'm the Met, and that was the same concept.
Hogan being massively over, whoever's against Hogan is a big time heel because of it. Like you look at Bundy, he was big time heel last year, and like without his program with Hogan, this is what he's doing a midget show.
But it does, as we were saying earlier, it does feel forced. That's the thing. It does feel very staged and set up.
They bought into it really big, so that was good. Obviously a lie, but they do say this is the first time Hogan and Andre meet, and now you'd know better.
Man, I'll just go back 7 years. And
it wasn't even the first time Hogan and Andre
7
met
years
in
earlier.
the WWF.
In Shea Stadium. Hogan body slams Andre the Giant, completely ruined it for me because I'd actually never seen.
He body slammed him at Shea Stadium.
I've actually never seen it. And he tries it multiple.
But he only weighed like 240 pounds back then.
But it was just the idea where I'd watched it just before, and I was like, what? This is wrong. But then seeing the attendance isn't quite accurate either.
Well, I'll give you two things. One of them, although it's like 50,000 plus at Shea Stadium, did see it. It wasn't televised, so that's something. And they didn't bring out the pay-per-view on VHS or anything. So you just got snippets of the pay-per-view. So the only time you actually got to see this pay-per-view and everything about it was 2008. Well,
that's fine then. Because WWE has always had the frame of mind that if it doesn't happen on TV, it hasn't happened. So.
It's the WWF title match, Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant.
Hogan walking to the ring. That was the first.
I love it. I love it.
Amazing. Yeah. He was so over. Holy crap. Like, this guy rightfully should be up there, greatest of all time. I've never heard anything like this. unbelievable.
Yeah, the match itself, standard monster versus babyface, Andre in control, bang, bang, bang. Oh, I have here bear hug. We got a long bear hug.
Nice.
It really, today it would kill a match, but back then it was, it was
Mark
right.
Henry doesn't mind.
Yeah, but no, it worked. It worked for the match. And the other point is, thankfully, there was not a bit of interference at all that I can remember from Heenan, which was good for the main event. I was happy with that.
Andre is so slow. He is continental drift slow. It's so awful. And I thought Hogan sold us back like a champion. I thought he was great. He really, really impressive selling. And
thing with Andre, he had massive back problems at the time, so I'd imagine his weight loss, that's actually not a good thing, because he's not any more mobile. Even from Shea Stadium, he looked much better. This was 7
Stop
years
frame of animation back then. But yeah, there's interesting. It's again the end of Andre's undefeated streak, 15 years. It's Elite's over, and then it's the kind of.
That's bullshit, by the way.
Yeah.
Obviously. Andre had his undefeated streak for 15 years. He lost to Lawler, lost to Inoki. I think he lost to Hogan as well in the AWA or whatever. Yeah, it's not. But
it's billed that way.
Yeah,
it was probably
it's billed that
15
way.
years undefeated on TV, maybe.
Maybe in the WWF, which he wasn't in for most of the time.
Oh, okay, right.
And again, it's so the Slam, the third around the world. Hulkamania then becomes immortal. And there's a funny comment that Jesse said that Hulk Hogan down on one knee, thanking the man who made it all happen. I'm just going to say it was Vince McMahon, because it isn't, God or whatever.
Yeah, beautiful shot of Andre leaving as well. I think Heenan sold it, with his hand ends. That's another iconic shot.
Yeah, he was great.
With Hulk Hogan posing in the background,
I just thought that Andre, probably the most famous or over big man ever, but in terms of talent, he is nothing compared to the Big Show. Nothing. Big Show would wrestle rings around this guy, talk rings around this guy, has more charisma than him. If you swapped both of these guys and had Big Show in the 80s, he'd have been an even bigger star.
I disagree. I agree with you on wrestling ability and mic skills. Charisma, absolutely no way.
Andre had nothing.
Andre had amazing charisma.
He couldn't move.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Charismatic.
It doesn't matter. You don't. He had a presence that the Big Show, in my opinion, just doesn't have. I think
that's because he's just another big guy in this day and age.
Okay, well maybe that's something, but we're obviously never going to know. But I always thought Andre was just so much more impressive than the Big Show. I
suppose lacking all these talents, it's more impressive that he's crazy over. The fact that if Heenan had nothing to do with this match and Andre was getting booed and getting shit thrown at him and stuff like that, he's got to have something there. And everyone did believe in this big giant and the match against Hulkamania. So.
Oh yeah. So that's because you had the booking to help him out as well. Well,
that's the thing. I'd actually have to agree that I think Andre, that every big man wrestler they brought in has actually diluted that character. So you think that everyone since the Big Show, everyone that they brought in since. So for me, it kind of reinforces how good Andre was, because in comparison, for me. And you know what you mean, though, because the Big Show used to be able to do moonsaults. So
Do you think that might take away from a giant being able to do these big moves, as opposed to being slow is better for a giant because that reinforces how big you are. You only do these big man moves.
I think so.
Well, I'm sure that's why.
You can only be a good big man if you're booked to be a good big man. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you're booked to never lose, you're going to get over.
But the one thing,
Big Show loses to Cody Rhodes.
But at least when Andre does the move, it's completely clean. Even when he scooped up Hogan, it was just boom on the ground. He did not struggle at all, and even getting in and out of the ring, he actually is efficient at doing it. So
Big Show is better in the ring and on the mic, but I think Andre has more charisma, just presence, I guess. Maybe that's the booking because I'm looking, and he's the first guy, so he can't really switch around because I don't think Big Show's anything special.
Well, still, even now, more people will know who Andre the Giant is than Big Show.
Yeah, absolutely.
He would have been for them national
I'm sure
treasure.
20 years of reverence and nostalgia.
Went out of my way to say that. Andre's more popular and way more over than Big Show will ever be, but a fraction of the talent, in nearly every facet.
So that wraps up WrestleMania 3. Yeah, what do you think of the show?
A big improvement. without doubt. I think the crowd helped, the arena helped, all that kind of thing. It had a big event, much bigger event feel.
Definitely.
The one thing that kept striking me over and over again was that there was no clean finishes. I think there might have been one clean finish in the entire pay-per-view, maybe 2 out of 12 matches. There was, I understand that in the 80s you had the idea of the heel was managed and then the manager got involved, but it gets really tiresome if it happens over and over again. Every match seemed to have some kind of after match beat down, run in, save, all this kind of thing. Just, it lost all its gusto after a while.
Everybody's got a safe face, like.
Yeah, exactly. Then the other one for me was a lot of stipulations in the pay-per-view.
Yeah, that seemed very, very odd. It's like this, we can't just present a normal match because people hate it, so here's 8 gimmick matches. It's very odd.
I thought this was a very good show. Definitely better than WrestleMania 1 and 2. Match quality was better, less kind of faffing about because you didn't have to go from LA to New York to wherever the hell it was. I thought that the biggest deal that separated this from last year was not breaking up commentary teams. I thought that destroyed WrestleMania 2. And one of the most famous spots in all of wrestling history to cap it all off. I thought it was a great show, definitely recommend it.
Yeah, again, this would be, as I say, looking retrospectively now, the first of the familiar WrestleManias, where it actually does look like WrestleMania we're all familiar with now, where it's great to see that they're learning from all of the past events, and as moving forward now, that it's obviously the success of this then spawns the Survivor Series. So, it was excellent to see. I highly enjoyed it compared to the 1 and 2.
That's definitely a big point I want to bring up, because WrestleMania 1 and 2, it's like in the dark. It's like it was black and white or something, and this is the first one that's in colour.
That's right.
Like, so it's definitely a lot more Vince McMahon's vision in here. This kind of cartoony Hulk Hogan's rock and roll kind of thing is getting in there.
What were the crowd sizes like in the first 2 Manias?
Well, WrestleMania 2, they were all half-assed, so 16,000 arenas.
Okay.
WrestleMania 1 was nothing to sneeze at either. Like,
maybe that has something to do about it, because this was being kind of pushed as the biggest show, and if you go to see it and you see that's no different than Saturday night's main event, then it doesn't, so they darken the crowd or something.
Well, that was it. Like, the first thing you experienced was the sound of the people, and then when it fades in, you go, "Whoa, I'm a part of this! Look at the amount of people!"
Yeah.
That that this is huge. That I'm a part of something important. So that's
definitely.
Cool.
This pay-per-view is credited to be the boom, the pinnacle of the Hulkamania era. Because this is the biggest crowd they'll ever get. Actually, the second biggest. That's not for 5 years.
Let's not beat around the bush here, lads. When it comes to match quality, there was one
Muraco, yeah.
There was the Macho Man Steamer match was as we've discussed, good.
Probably the best in the Hulkamania era.
Yeah. There's no doubt about it. It's a very good match, especially for its time. Then Hart Foundation Bulldogs match was good.
The opening match was alright.
It was fine, and then the main event I thoroughly enjoyed just because of the occasion.
That's 4 or 5 matches.
Out of 12, out of 12, it's by today's standards is very poor. By those standards, would be very good.
But it was just that your average match wasn't as bad as the average match last year. There was more roll my eyes moments in WrestleMania 2 than there was in 3.
And a lot of the bad matches, like 3 minutes or something.
And coordination problems where you're not hearing what they're saying, you're jumping over and back and everything. So it's good that they got their act together.
Who was your MVP of the show?
Maybe Ventura. Fucking love him on commentary.
I gave him MVP last week as well. I thought he was the best thing about the show again.
I love Steamer as well. I don't know what it is, but I don't want to say enraptured by another man, but yeah, I give it those guys. No, Ted Arsini didn't make it.
That's what his name is. When you were talking with Dino Bravo, I couldn't think of your man's name to say something about him.
I have to say Hogan again. If it wasn't for Hogan, there would be no WrestleMania.
We wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, this event would have been fine, but it wouldn't have been anything special.
Macho Mania.
Because you wouldn't have got 90, 80,000 people to go and watch everyone else.
1,800 people watch to see Ted Arsini and Paul Orndorff. What about you? Who was most important to you?
Let's say for commentary, definitely Jesse, and it's between Macho and Dragon. Yeah.
And most useless person on the card?
I'm not going to say Adonis. I'm not going to say Adonis.
No, because he was wrestling Piper and not Uncle Ben, so.
To be honest with you, there wasn't that many
it's hard to think
rubbish people. Adonis is the only one that's maybe the Natural.
Yeah, I could give him that. It was a squash match, but he's the nothing, so who cares? Like, I suppose like even King Kong Bundy did the best he could with midgets. Yeah. Like, I don't know why you'd want to give him a payday. Like, who'd want to see who pays to see these midgets?
Alice Cooper.
Okay.
I knew there was something in there.
I'm happy with Alice Cooper. Yeah. Overall, just looking down through it, I'm quite impressed actually.
I'm gonna go with Tito Santana. He pissed me off on this show.
Really?
He was all over.
That's because he knocked out your boy Bret, was it?
My boy. 97, what?
1 inch closer, you'd never have that amazing WrestleMania.
I know, honestly. I thought Jake Roberts was pretty shit on the show as well.
He did nothing.
He did nothing.
Yeah, but he wasn't dreadful. Like,
did he actually get even the DDT in the end?
No, he didn't.
No, he went for it
twice
and then,
or something. Yeah.
Even Danny Davis was half decent. He got a lot of heat.
Oh, he at least had a gimmick.
Harley Race was pretty shit.
Yeah, he was.
That match was those two.
One thing about Davis annoyed me when Bulldogs had him up, he wouldn't put his legs up. I can't stand people don't do this.
The sandbag,
put their legs up.
Yeah, he couldn't hold him.
Yeah, that's really annoying because it makes it look so unimpressive. Because he's just like this,
I don't think he could help him because he might not have the stomach strength or whatever you want to call it to hold himself up.
Excellent. Man, thoroughly enjoyed this one. I went very smooth today. No more jangly balls.
No more bees in your band.
Oh, I love it. Alright. Excellent. So that wraps up WrestleMania 3. Let's go quickly into the Wrestling is Awesome segment.
Wrestling is awesome!
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 I came to play.
No one's gonna have to teach me how to patrol through a jungle. Nobody's gonna have to teach me how to take a sentry out. And nobody's gonna have to teach me how to fire the most awesome weapon, handheld, the world has ever seen. Biggest thrill for me was when we hit Wardrobe. And I happened to view Arnold's Wardrobe tape, and when my arms taped out 1 inch bigger than Mr. Olympia's, that made Jesse Ventura feel pretty good.
Bunch of slack-jawed faggots around here. This stuff will make you a goddamn sexual Tyrannosaurus. Just like me.
Payback time.
Son of a bitch is dug in like an Alabama tick. I ain't got time to bleed.
This shit's something. Makes Cambodia look like Kansas. Come on in. Old Painless is waiting.
Yeah. Alright. Brilliant. Alright. Well, lads, thanks for coming out today. It's brilliant. WrestleMania 3 is in the books. And next one is not another WrestleMania because WWF decided, man, Starrcade, what would be a great idea? Put on a pay-per-view right next beside it. The Survivor Series 1987 would be the next view. Let's wrap it up. So for me, Jay Hunter, this is OC.
Yeah.
Neil.
Yeah.
And V1 now. Alright, signing out.
The following contest is for the World Wrestling Federation Women's Championship. It is scheduled for one fall with a 1 hour time limit. Introducing in the ring currently the challenger from Charlotte, North Carolina, weighing 142 pounds, Rockin' Robin. Her opponent from New Orleans, Louisiana, weighing 144 pounds, the World Wrestling Federation Women's Champion, the sensational Sherri.
Ladies Championship on the line here at Madison Square Garden. Gorilla Monsoon here at ringside, along with his lordship Alfred Hayes and the applauding Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Sherri, you don't need them. I think Sherri faces her toughest challenge here in Rockin' Robin. She's got two things going for her, Rockin' Robin. One, she is just a fantastic wrestler. Two, she doesn't look as if she might be a fantastic wrestler, and Sherri could underestimate her so easily.
Excellent train of thought, your lordship.
Thank you.
Referee is showing everyone the ladies' championship belt. This is what it's all about. Where the belt goes, the money goes.
Yes,
Fortunately,
absolutely.
you don't know too much about that, Brain. You don't have any titles in your stable, or family at the moment, I'm sorry.
It's not my fault.
No.
Robin taking no chances.
Who should we
there.
blame? You're the manager.
Blame the officials.
Oh. Elbow and collar lock up. See if we get a clean break here by the champion.
I hope not.
Nice block. Retaliated with a right hand of her own. Rockin' Robin did. Nice arm drives as the champion's just coming in full speed ahead with no particular train of thought in mind.
Not so much. You know something? She's never lacked confidence, Sherri, but since she's been champion and she's managed to hang on to that championship against all sorts of challengers, she seems to have accrued a certain amount of confidence.
But who did sensational Sherri beat? The all-time greatest heavyweight champion of all women wrestling. Was Fabulous Moolah.
In the Sam Houston Coliseum.
You were there.
Outside, yes.
And you threw a party for Sherri, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
That's what I heard. That's the rumor.
She's a very tall lady, Sherri, and she uses that height to get all sorts of good leverage, and those long legs can get her out of trouble too, like they did just then. But look at Robin go to town on her.
Is that leverage the same as leverage?
Yes, I think so.
Speak English, will you? I mean, I understand you, but the people don't, the humanoids.
Going to work on the left arm of the champion. Doing a nice job of it.
Keep him well in control there. Sherri, I don't thought this was going to happen to her for one moment.
Oh, look at that shot.
She has a lot of strength in that wiry body, Gorilla.
She certainly does, and youth is on her side.
Absolutely.
Something that has escaped you and I.
Yes. Long ago, I'm afraid, on my part.
And the weasel as well. Let's not leave him. What do you give me that look on your face?
Don't start crossing off the calendar for me.
You think you're 21 or something? In control, using this arm bar, Rockin' Robin.
Actually, that was a nice move by Robin because Sherri was a little distance from her. She brought her in, body to body, and made that arm drag pay. Good technical move by Robin.
Sensational Sherri certainly has changed her hairdo.
Yeah, bring it out.
Makes her look a little better, I think.
I don't know, but she's changing it right.
Whoa, hard into the corner. Look out, Robin, a little bit too slow on that particular move. Telegraphed that one 3/4 of the way across the ring.
She did. She came from too far back, I think.
And paid for it.
Yes, Sherri's not the champion for nothing. She saw that move coming right out of the blue.
You know, sensational Sherri happens to be Gorilla Monsoon's Playboy pinnacle of the year, I believe. I happen to know you got eyes for her. Oh.
Well, I don't disbelieve that. She's a lovely girl.
Beautiful. She's sensational. She's Sherri.
Right.
Scoops her up. Oh, drove her down into the canvas.
What a display of strength there.
She didn't just turn her loose, she drove her down there.
And now she's just picking her moment, her time. She's picking Rockin' Robin apart too.
Rockin' Robin can't be much more than, 125, 30 pounds?
I I would say she's about 125, 130. You're absolutely right.
Originally listed as 141 hours.
My word. Robin twisted her as she went down the ring then and brought her back right on the apron.
Drawn underneath the ring. Rockin' Robin has Sensational Sherri looking for her on the opposite side where she originally discarded her. And here's Robin coming up on our side.
And I think Sherri's in for a surprise.
She's looking.
Robin's in.
Look out, drop kick right in the keystone out. Oh, goes the champion.
The champion had a back turn and she was caught napping.
Look at her, looking around in bewilderment and amazement.
Nice move that by Rockin' Robin.
Having a few choice words with some of her reps. Hi, Bobby. Glad we didn't have her.
It might have been interesting to hear what she was saying, because she was certainly taken by surprise on foot race.
Coming around the corner in a minute. Robin right behind her. Sherri ducks underneath the bottom. And out the other end.
That's why she's the heavyweight champion of the world. She's smart, she's quick, she's fast, and she knows what she's doing.
She's the ladies' champion. That's what I said. You said heavyweight. Which conjures up other thoughts about it.
Well, they know that's not Hulk Hogan, and of course he kind of wears the same outfit.
Robin now with an Irish whip in. Clothesline and a mule.
What a good clothesline by Robin.
Got her right underneath the chin.
She is so fast, this girl.
Sherri comes out the back door without any trouble at all.
No trouble, you're absolutely right. Sherri, I believe, is setting Robin up for something.
Reversal. Oh, nice bulldog! Right out of nowhere.
Wait a minute, we can have something here.
History could be made right here in the night.
Was Sherri ever caught then? She was Robin up, and in fact it was Robin who set her up.
That even surprised me.
Got her up now. Going to set her up on that top turnbuckle.
Well, she's making a mistake there. She should keep her on the mat.
Not a smart move.
You agree with me?
There isn't a whole lot of things you can do when you put somebody up.
You agree with me?
Well, unfortunately, yeah.
I'm getting out of here.
Yep. Time for you to bail out.
This don't make sense to me.
Slam off the turnbuckle. She found something to do, but
She certainly did, but she's waiting a long time there. She's wasting a long time. Well, she took a bad fall there. Gosh.
she landed on a funny bone that wasn't too funny, Elvis.
No, definitely not. It's a wonder she didn't break her collarbone on that fall. Because that's what happens when you land.
It's a mystery. She's still walking.
Yes, it is. Both exchanging blows now down in the breadbasket area.
Yeah, but women can't punch them.
You told Moolah that.
Oh, face first, right into the canvas.
You know, they're good. They're good with their husband comes home late at night and he's blowing the paycheck, and then he comes in the door and he's sneaking behind a wall with a frying pan. But
are you speaking from experience?
I've never had that trouble.
Robin had a good advantage then over Sherri, but she did not pull that leg. She made a cover where she didn't tie Sherri up, and Sherri consequently was able to escape. But Sherri's still in a lot of trouble.
Referee letting both ladies get away with flagrant to the hair. Said he's going to make another mistake. He's going to that high risk area once again.
She missed already.
Inside the caught her with the toes right in the sternum area.
And Robin
could be all over here. It is.
I've had enough.
The Brain has just walked away as the ladies' champion, Sensational Sherri, with a very impressive victory. Let's get the official.
Both of this contest, and still World Wrestling Federation Women's Champion, the Sensational Sherri.
It was a sterling effort there by Rockin' Robin, but I think that Sensational Sherri knew what was happening all the way along there and took advantage of that. She's a very cocky girl.
There's no substitution for experience.
You're absolutely right.
Sensational Sherri having a few words with his lordship here. In the meantime, she got slapped up the backside of the head about 40 miles an hour by Rockin' Robin. Let's go back and take a look at what terminated this match. Here it comes. Another of those high-risk moves that Robin
Missed one, Gorilla.
not very successful with. Look at that. Both toes pointed upwards, right into the lower abdomen area. That was the beginning of the end.
Absolutely, and Sherri took her time. She was in complete control there.
But Rockin' Robin could say, I went.